speak to some parents earlier, but of course they were still overcome by the shock.
Well, of course, the situation is the same here. We've also been trying to speak to some of the parents who've been affected by this tragedy. And they're also still very overcome with emotion, saying that they're not ready to speak as yet. We spoke to some of the parents of the children who survived the incident, who say they're still very, very shocked. Some parents who came rushing to the scene to see if their children were not one of those more than 20 children who were injured when the structure collapsed. What we do understand is that it was just after assembly that the structure collapsed. There were some children who were walking on the pathway in the school, and there were some who were walking below, where that is where the concrete slab fell onto some children, and some already on top of it when it fell. Of course, a very confusing tragedy here, because we do not know at this point what is the exact cause of the incident. We do, however, know that there were really heavy rains last night in the area, but we cannot confirm, or even emergency services or anyone who was on scene, all the authorities cannot confirm if indeed the collapse was as a result of the heavy and strong rains that took place here today. We do know that the school has officially been shut. We've been seeing some parents walk in and out of the school to come collect what's left of their children's belongings. There was a grade that was supposed to go on a trip, and we saw that there were some school bags that were in the hall. And what we also know is that a lot of the children are so traumatized here. We tried to speak to some of the kids off camera. Of course, they wouldn't speak to us on camera, and they didn't even have the energy to speak. Some saying that they can't speak, some saying they're still shocked. Spoke to one of the kids who relayed the story, saying she literally saw just the whole thing turned into a disaster when she was on her way to passing that part of the structure that fell down. We know the school has been shut, and we know that from now there is a counselor on site for any of the children who might be traumatized and would like to speak to anyone. And we also spoke to the Human Rights Commission, who say they'll be opening their own investigation apart from the police investigation that has been taking place at the moment. Of course, we know that 3 children have been declared dead, 2 males and 1 female. Their ages are yet to be revealed to us. We do know, of course, they're between the ages of 13 and 18, and the MEC said he'll update us on when some of the children are released from hospital. We're also told by the department that they'll be taking care of any of the financial needs of the families of all the children who've been affected by this situation.
Lopang, earlier when we crossed to you, you described the scene as a crime scene. Who's determined it as a crime scene as opposed to just being an accident scene?
Well, the MEC confirmed that the scene is now officially a crime scene. We also spoke to Kema Kubele, who says thorough investigation has to be done. Therefore, this matter is now handed over to the police because it's being treated as a crime scene. This because no one knows exactly what it is that happened here today. We also asked the MEC why it's still a crime scene, and he said he'd just let the authorities do their job, and then only after the investigation will they tell us what it is exactly that had happened here today. Of course, we tried to go deeper into questioning the MEC as to some of the things that the Human Rights Commission told us. We do understand that last year there was a court order from the Eastern Cape High Court saying that the Department of Education needs to maintain the schools and not just go around building schools and building more infrastructure without having to maintain the schools that are already built. The school is 45 years old. That's what we know so far, and no other incidents have happened. But was the school regularly maintained? Those are some of the questions that the Human Rights Commission is asking as well. And those are some of the questions that we are also asking to the department. But of course, just really emotional scenes coming here. We saw earlier one of the families just coming and crying, people embracing each other. It's very difficult, this is one of the things that a parent would not like to happen to them. Some of the parents saying they left work in a hurry to come and see if their children were not affected.
Yes, indeed. Thanks for that, Lopang, for that report.